my name's Jack Hodgins. Welcome back. I'll take you over the new DJI Pilot App, which is version 1.1.1. Obviously a different version if you're on an Android device. I've got mine on the iPad, which I use the iPad for my Fly My Inspire. And this app is now designed for the Inspire and the Phantom 3 people. There might be variation in different settings, because obviously when you've plug your different various quad, where you've got Phantom 3 or Inspire, they're going to be showing different sort of variations within the app, because certain things will come live for the Phantom 3 and other things will come live for the Inspire, and so forth. So this will be interesting to see when I do get hold of it, get my Phantom 3, to be able to see if the director is accessible within the Phantom 3 or if it's accessible on the Inspire and so forth. So let's have a look. So this is quite changed, because there used to be an option at the bottom here that allows me to go to the training part, which is all the manuals, but they obviously put up the top here on the help bar now. So you guys who are on the Inspire watching this, you'll probably say, yeah, you'll see the changes where they've moved it to. So you've got Academy support now, so you've got email and live chat support. Then you've got all the manuals basically, and also got sample video at the bottom. Remember, when you're out in the field and you've got data allowance on your iPad or your iPhone, and you access these videos, it will take your data allowance off of you, or it will eat your data allowance up. The same when you live stream from this software we use in the Phantom 3, it will eat your data allowance up. So it depends on what quality you're in and how long you're streaming for. It might eat away. A lot of mobile phones are like 2 gig in the UK of data allowance, so you might have to sort of start looking at spending more if that's what you want to do. But I don't see a thing streaming live unless you're doing some sort of an event that you're allowed to fly around. That may be a good thing. But here we go. Just make sure when you get this app, download all your manuals for your Inspire. You've got an option up here which allows you to select whether you've got Inspire, Phantom 3 Professional or Advanced. So you can click on various ones and it will actually change, and there you go, it will change and show you the various videos for the Phantom 3 and the manuals, and click on them and you can download them. And same with the Advanced, it'll change. So I already downloaded the manuals for the Advanced as well. So on here you can click on the manual, you can go into there and have a look, use the manual. So if you're after a particular thing, not sure what you're doing, you can look at the manual to work out. And this is offline, so when you're off actually out in the field and you've got no data connection, as long as you download these with an internet connection, when you go out on site, you've got them offline to be able to go through and use. So there's something particularly you've forgotten about, you can pick the manual up and have a look. Remember guys, first time flying, always read the manual. You've got to find everything in there that you need to know, even down to stopping your motors, starting your motors, general checks, calibration, charging times, flight times, all that is in your manual. So it's definitely worth a read. It might sound boring, but again, a lot of people tend to report a lot of stuff on YouTube, flyaway, things like that. I don't think they're paying attention correctly with all the right rules, what you need to do and how to start. But manual's there, so I would definitely advise to read it. So all the manuals there. This is good because on the Inspire one, you have to have your Inspire connected, powered up with no blades on it, and you can use the flight simulator on here, but obviously mine's not connected at the moment. So I'm not quite sure whether the Phantom's the same, Phantom 3. So I don't know if you guys have actually got Phantom 3, if you actually use the flight simulator, does it do the same for you? So if I go back and say I've got a Phantom 3 Professional, I think it's going to come up and say yes, you need the aircraft connected to play with that app. Remember, connect the aircraft, but don't connect the props to it, because it will fire up when you're doing the flight simulator. You have to have it switched on. So that way, if you're in the UK and you've got bad crap weather, then you can use the flight simulator to practice as hard to content until you really got up to T, and that will really improve your flying skills when you go out in the field and do it live basically. This little announcement button up the top here will give you the latest updates, and I think it will change to sort of different things as and things come new anyway. But check whether you need to update the firmware. Yeah, so here's just various checks anyway. So back up to the home button. The camera button here is the main one you'll use for the, and here at the bottom here you got a map. Middle will be what your video will be. Will the video view on your gimbal, on your Phantom or the Inspire basically. And you've got various things. I'm just going to be a very quick overview of this, because this is just an overview of the app, and we'll go more detail once it's connected to the Inspire or the Phantom 3, and we can go through what it does, because it's not going to show you the correct settings for my craft. It's just going to show you settings for everything at the moment, and you can't play with a lot of them because they're all disabled. Okay, and I can't stream this iPad version if I'm using the USB, so the cable, because obviously with my Spy powered up, I will need the cable to be able to talk to it. So it's a bit difficult to do it both. So I thought I'd do a quick overview anyway. So here, your bottom on the right left hand side here, this little radar here will tell you the direction of your craft, and the green shows you the direction of the camera pointing. So if you're up in the air and you're using what the camera's seeing, and it looks like it's facing behind or in front, and you've got orientation all confused, then you can look at the radar and say, right, yeah, the craft is pointing forward, the camera is actually pointing forward, because it will also tell you if the camera is pointing backwards. Then that way you can hit your little reset button under your remote controller. It's on the one on the left hand side. It allows you to reset the gimbal back to standard position, which is facing forward. So if you have got it on free or mode, then you can press the right button to take it off, left button to reset the camera, which will then bring it forward. So you can rotate it back forward and then go from there. That's the map for waypoint flying. So here you can set up your waypoints and then send it out to do the job. Or if you're looking at, like, you know, what's around, because this on here is good because this will show here no fly zone area. So this is London Heathrow, so this is showing where the no fly zone area is. So if you are living around this area, you know the safe points you can fly. We're here around Heathrow, all around this little area here. You can see it's showing it's no fly zone area, and it's great, actually great tool to use, because if you're going to go somewhere and plan to go somewhere, you can scroll through the map. So you can go down, so long as you've got data connection, you can scroll down through the map, find out where you're going to go to. So let's say Birmingham, for instance, scroll into Birmingham, and automatically here you start seeing there's the airport, there's no fly zone areas. Look for other sort of purple areas around, and it'll tell you if there are no fly zones. So that way you can sort of prepare where you're going to go to your next trip, and see if there's anything around you that says no fly zone areas. You know, so it's quite good to know that. So that will always, as long as you keep your firmware updated and the app updated, it will show you all the no fly zone areas on there quite nicely. So go back to this one. So H will be where we can change home position. So you can have it where it took off from, or where it's got the little man on there. You can set it to say my home point's changed to where I am now with the controller. So long as the controller's in your hand, it will use you more or less as the home point. It won't fly at you. It'll fly towards you and land in front of you. I assume I've not tried that, tested it, but I've tried the normal return home mode anyway. So, and you can change the altitude, what goes up, we'll talk about a bit later. That's auto return home or auto land. So if you're up in the air, and you're confused which direction it is, you can't, it's very small in the air, you think, oh, I'm stuck, you can slide her and she'll return home to you automatically as well. And I think if you click on it again, you can actually cancel it as well at the same time. So this is the orientation of your camera gimbal controls on your Inspire. So I'm not sure how the Phantom will show on this, because of the Phantom you can't rotate it round, but the Inspire you can. So these will give you different camera functionalities. So it'll be interesting to see how that will change for the Phantom 3. So then that's your auto takeoff. The Inspire will raise to, I think it's 1.8 meters. You can set that to be higher or lower. Wouldn't advise it to go any lower, basically. But if you are in sort of like, I know you're flying indoors, then you'll see if 1.8 meters too high, which is not that very high anyway, you can actually bring the height of it down a bit on auto takeoff, so it won't actually hit the roof. So that's a good feature to have. Setting buttons up here. I'm going to the shortcut setting buttons up here, because this one here does all the top ones across the top. So starting from the bottom, this gives all the details you can change. These are default details, but because my craft's not connected, they won't actually set to what the craft's set to. So you can change the user measurements, enable hardware decoding, overexposure warnings, and all sorts of stuff. YouTube streaming, that won't come active until I've got my can't get firmware version. Oh yeah, because I need my gimbal attached, so I won't be able to slide. Most of this you can't slide and touch because you need the craft connected to get the idea. So you've got lots of stuff in here. Video format, default is MOV, but you can change to MP4, and obviously PAL or NTC, depends where you are. Camera resets, format cards, flight data, clear flight data, clear video cache, and obviously the version stuff, and DJI's website. Then you've got things about your camera gimbal adjusting, calibration, data on your batteries, battery life, times charge, temperatures, and all that sort of stuff. So this data all comes live when you got it all plugged in. Image transmission settings, very good. If you find you're flying and you're having interference or the signal's quite weak, so you're getting latencies and stuff like that put on there, then I would advise to pick another channel. So it'll tell you on here which channels are stable, which ones are unsuitable, and also show you which one's your current one, and you can easily like change it across, and it'll improve your settings and improve your latency as well. Controller, remote control settings. So here's where you can recalibrate your remote sticks, change the parameters of the back buttons, which is C1, C2, and relinking the aircraft. And then at the top here is your base settings here, beginner's mode. On beginner's mode, it restricts you. Then you can switch it off. Then it opens up, so it will set basic altitude heights and distance heights and stuff. But if you slide it off, then you can set everything you like. So here you can. This is where you'll set your maximum distance. So if you don't want to be flying any more than 500 meters, you can set that, and it'll stay that. So you stay within the legal limits. First time flying, use beginner mode because it'll keep everything short. I think it'll allow you only to fly to 50 meters, so you can stay quite low until you get used to your control things. Travel mode, nothing to worry about. If you're Phantom 3, travel mode doesn't really matter, I don't think, because travel mode on the Inspire is more or less where the legs go right horizontal, allowing it to be put back in its case, basically. So these features won't be for Phantom 3 people. Self-adaptive landing gear, sensors. Sensors here is where you can recalibrate your gyro, accelerometer, compass, recalibrate them, see if they're stable. So we do have a crash, but luckily enough it hasn't sort of upset or broken anything. But you can then redo the calibration on the IMU basically, and make sure it's all balanced out properly as it is. But make sure you do that on a level, absolutely level ground, or table that's level basically, and redo that. So everything that was originally in the Phantom 2 Vision Plus app, which is on your Mac or PC, is now all through the app. So you don't have to plug it into your PC or Mac anymore to do all the settings or changings. It's all done through the app, which is really nice to see. This is just a brief overview of the app, and obviously on your camera controls here, I can show you've got image format. If you want to have copies of your images to be JPEG and in full RAW format, so you want to be able to tweak them later but use some very quickly off the web, then you can select it to JPEG on RAW. But if you're a photographer and you really want to work with RAW only, not worry about JPEG, then obviously set it to RAW. And if you're just somebody that don't care about RAW and you just want JPEG, you can just upload to blogging JPEG only. Image format here, wide shots 4.3 or 16.9. Wide balance, whether you're on auto, whether you know it's a sunny day, clear day, depends how you want to do. You can play with all these settings, work out which is best results. But for me, I tend to always leave it on auto. It seems to work itself out. It seems to be fantastic with anyway. Video size, I always shoot at 4K at 24 frames per second. But if you're blogging and using YouTube and you're not worried about doing 4K outputs, so just 1080p seems to be fine. That's a standard screen for everybody. Then you can drop it down to 1080p at 50 frames per second. The higher frame rate you record, the more detail it's going to record. So when you pan really fast, really quickly, it's not going to look like a blur. It's going to be detailed. So notice when you do, excuse me, when you do 4K recording, 24 frames per second, and you pan fast, or even I know, go left, suddenly go left on the stick. So it literally goes left really quickly. Then you tend to get a blur effect happening when you play it back and watch it. But I'm hoping they might bring out some sort of firmware that will actually allow the gimbal to be pushed for higher speeds at a 4K rate. So I like recording at 4K because it is much more crystal and it's so much clearer as well. But I tend to bring it down to 1080p. But when I get some really good shots off, 4K is brilliant, and then upload it. But I know YouTube will create different versions anyway, so anybody who's watching 1080p will still be able to watch my videos anyway. So that's there. Got color changes, styles, again white balance, colors. So these are all you can play with to find out what the perfect settings are. You've got slide down to take for video, slide up for photographs, and then you have your short buttons on your remote controller to start recording or taking snaps. And you can also play back your video as well to check if it's recorded correctly, or you've got the right shots ready, so you don't have to go off and download it find out it's not the right shot. So that's that. This is the direct one. This is quite interesting because it's meant to pull your clips in, create a work order, and it's meant to sort of automatically sort out the best parts of your clips and put it together for you automatically. So I don't know how true that is, but I haven't flown since I've had this app installed, so hopefully this week I'll be able to try it out to see how it works and whether it is available for the Inspire, because this was really designed for the Phantom 3, so I'm hoping it is available for the Inspire to work with, which would be really good. Use Center. This is where it'll show you the albums on your iPad or iPhone. Middle one here, this is your flight recorder. This is where it records all your flights forever, basically. So don't know how long it will keep data for, but this will be flights. So everywhere you fly, it's going to record time, dates, and then everything in that flight, including like distance, time, maximum altitude. It even takes little snapshots as well. I mean, this is pretty handy because I can say, Cambly, what was I doing there? And you can click on the little picture and it will give you reminders. Oh yeah, that's the comment I did when I did a live Periscope with Paul Deach. So it's got great little reminders and stuff. Some of them don't pick up because it depends on how excuse me, depends what I was doing that particular flight. Flies everything, gives you video time, so the video sort of time you took or how much video you took that particular day, 4 minutes and 30. So show them fly for very long on all these days anyway, 7 minutes, 9 minutes and so forth. But if you click on clip on one of your thing, it takes you in, gives you more details. It shows you the map where you flew, shows the flight path, so you can see there, sort of just about see it there. You can see I flew right way around the edge here, and it shows where I've taken the pictures across as well on the app as well, where home position is, so that's where I took off from. And then it gives you here flight time, date, maximum height. So the maximum height I flew at 58.9 meters, flying distance in total 752.1 meters. Location bag shot. The good thing about this app, you can actually play back your flight, the actual flight path. So if I click on play button at the bottom here, it'll start going through the actual, literally from that taking off. So it says the RC assistance takeoff. So that's when I did on auto takeoff. Landing gear raised. Sorry about that. And then it'll start showing up the flight, how I flew and stuff. Landing gear raised again. So this day I had a bit of problem with return home lock, so I had to come back and restart it again. So here it's going to show you can speed it up as well. So if I put 2-3 times, it's going to go through this really fast. And every part it flies here, it's showing how fast I was going as well, distance, altitude. So it shows every little bit of detail. It shows how I flew, which the greens is where the camera's pointing, so it's always pointing forward. See, so you can show the camera angles I was actually using as well. And if you click on the bottom here that looks like a little remote, it shows you the stick controls, how much pressure I was putting on the stick. So it's a great way of working out, you know, that particular angle, how much pressure was put on it. You can see I wasn't really using a lot of pressure on the sticks, very lightweight, very light on the sticks and stuff. And it's absolutely brilliant. So there's that. And if you go back, you can then look at all your flight patterns. You can favourite the particular flight you want to do. And the top column here, this allows you to synchronize all the flight data up on your DJI account. So as long as you're logged in underneath this one here, your profile and your login name, you use the same login for the DJI store. So if you ever bought from the DJI store, that's the login you use. If not, go onto the DJI website, create yourself, register with them. Then you can log in here basically. Yeah, that gives you account. You can change your profile picture, and it records your pilot level as well. So as you're flying, as you notice in here, it will give you pilot levels. So after total flight times I've had so far, it's 31 flights. Total flight time 2 hours and 36 minutes. That's flight time overall, everything I've done in here. And then it actually records pilot level. So as I fly more, the pilot level is going to slowly grow and grow and grow. When you go on here, it's going to also give different badges under your profile name, basically, of how much you've flown and stuff like that. So it's quite useful, and it's quite nice having all that data to hand. So that's the basic app, and the app overall, which is the new version 1.1.1, which works both with the Phantom 3 and the Inspire. So Anyway, we'll go a bit more detail into this little app when I'll probably plug my Spire into it, and as soon as the Phantom 3 comes along, we'll plug that in. We'll go overall, look at the settings and stuff, and we'll try some settings out, and we'll see what's best settings are for video, because I fly a lot in the sun, and if it's not so raining, it's quite dull, then I'll do some cloudy shots as well. That'd be good to play back some of the settings, see what shots are best to use. So I hope you find this useful. Anyway, till next time, fly safe, be safe, and speak to you soon. Cheers.